Maybe I should sit a little closer. Um, week 3, cycle 21, week 3 review. I have a few things in my journal here, but I guess I'll start with this one. You know, the internal family systems has been at like the top of my list of where I put my energy every day. And I think last time I talked about attain, maintain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I put the link to the blog in there. I'm reminded of a. I'll put a link to this blog too. I haven't looked at it. I think it's still there. I once made a blog called like the death of Casey Abbott Payne or the death something like that. It's on Blogspot. I have all these like breadcrumbs for myself, for my that I've left for my future self to investigate my past self. But something that happened this week is like I like the you know, Casey Abbott Payne started as a persona, a specific persona about like he was like a Chan Buddhist, gonna become a bodhisattva. Chan Buddhism is Zen. That's where Zen Buddhism comes from. I was gonna call it Chinese Zen, but Zen is Chinese. Zen is Japanese Chan. Like Chan is where Zen comes from. Anyway, he was a persona. Then slowly that changed, and then eventually I'm like, oh, maybe I can make Casey Abbott Payne into this person that has all the good qualities, or to use internal family systems, all the good parts, put them in the Casey Abbott, and it was all like it was like a mess and confusing. But this week, I'm like, oh shit, there's no uh like I won't say that it's like all the way, but it feels gone. Like I don't feel like Casey Abbott Payne anymore. Not the Casey Abbott Payne construct that I had created. That just feels dissolved. So that feels really good. So that's probably the height of the week is kind of this dissolution. Is that a word? Dissolution of Casey Abbott Payne as a container who was maybe this, that, and the other thing. Gone, dead, done. So that's good. The other, well, and I also finished the book, No Bad Parts. Good book, great book. There's even a section in there about flow. So I'm like, oh yeah, flowism, internal families, it all fucking like I had already been calling. You know, the book I'll write about this. Okay, that's a good transition. The Flowing Self. Um, but yeah, that book is good. I'll make a separate video about No Bad Parts. I think, and talk about why I read it, what I got out from it. But the Flowing Self project is kind of cool. So you know, I'm doing all this. I'm doing the internal family systems work. I'm mostly doing it with Gemini. I have another appointment today to see the therapist. I made a video afterwards that I didn't upload that I don't know what I'll do with. And I'll probably do it again after this one, like just as a way to capture whatever random thoughts. But I'm mostly doing all this work with Gemini, and it's been great. You do. I mean, this is just like an AI thing in general. Like AI will gas you up, like, oh shit, you just figured out the Matrix. You're, you know, like it'll get overly hyped. So you have to be aware of that and kind of put it in check. I had to put it in check this morning, but it's been really, really good. And what I've decided to do, I was like writing a blog post every day, and then I decided to take that writing energy and just dump it into internal family systems. But what I'm going to start doing is like going back. I have just a Google Doc of Gemini says something, I respond. Gemini respond. So I'm going to start editing that back and forth just into blog posts with the idea that it could be a book at some point. Just because I think it's really like it's what's happening just with AI, what I'm doing, like it's very interesting, and people are all trying to figure it out. So I've figured out, you know, just share what I've done, what I'm doing. What do I want to jump to next, I guess I'll connect this to that. I think I mentioned it last time. The meetup, revolutionary habits. Maybe I'll connect it to a few things. I know the Charlie Kirk video, I ended up talking about community at the end, but like, yeah, and I, I've been aware of co-ops and what are all the worker collectives, and I've been aware about, I'm aware of that stuff, and I've read about it before, but like this just happened, I think today, like this morning as I was writing. I'm not sure, but last week I'm like, oh, instead of me trying to build a YouTube channel, I'm gonna do it as well, but like instead of my energy being there, like put this energy into first creating a collective, which is going to take time and energy. Maybe there's a collective here, I'll just join and put my energy there, I don't know yet. But then the idea of, instead of, I live on so little, this has always been my plan anyway, where if and I always want to live on so little, like I want, well, I'm rolling, not solo, I got a wife, but we don't have kids. But I keep my expenses low, although this therapy is hurting my desire to keep my expenses low. The point I'm getting to is, creating, and there are businesses like this out there, but creating a business where I'm selling the books and the courses, and other people in the collective are doing stuff, whatever, and all that money comes in and like gets distributed to all the people in the collective, or stays in the collective, or go, that's like, my mind is going in that direction. And revolutionary habits reminded me of that, I guess, because the whole the whole point of revolutionary habits are to be like, revolutionary, and like change these oppressive, violent, and hostile systems. But as an entry point, learning, developing the skill to make your bed every day. Like, we ain't overthrowing shit if you can't make your bed every day. And, I'll say something about that too. Just, I'm saying make your bed. Like, people, need different habits. And like, ideally, and this, like, it's fun, putting together a revolutionary habit, making a group that is all working on their habits together, and it grows and it spreads, and there's groups here and all that. Like, it's like we have to be unnatural to get natural. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about habits. You shouldn't have to be thinking about making your bed. You shouldn't have to be thinking about any of this stuff. Like life. I mean, you would in the modern world it's just different. But life should just be the habits. The systems around you should like take care of your habits, without needing to like, oh, I need a gym membership, and I need this, and I gotta eat this way, and I gotta this, and I gotta this. It's people have to do all this because the world is hostile to just being like human, just being a human who wants to human and make and create some stuff and kick it with the boys or kick it with the girls, or what the hostile system. And I guess from the head, here, the hostile system. What do I got here? I got my psychological warfare here. Again, that probably needs to be a whole video. It definitely needs to be a whole video. It definitely needs to be a whole series of videos. It definitely, basically every video is psychological war. Every video I make is a psychological warfare video, whether I talk about it or not. And it's really and truly, information psychology, warfare is for people living in the United States, or I don't even like the term developed countries. I don't know what to say, but people are running around depressed, anxious, feeling bad, sad, life's hard, all these things. Well, now I'm like wanting to connect that to community, but so much of it is the your programming, the programming that everybody's cultified. Like, really, everybody, you watching it, everybody's cultified. Everybody's in a cult. Everybody's in a fucking earth death cult. And I like it when people are like, oh yeah, the earth is gonna, when people kill themselves, the earth will be fine because the earth is just earthing. Yeah, but it's like we're like killing ecosystems, we're killing off different species, we're like killing people. And when I say we, it's these hostile systems, this cult that you're a part of. You're a part of a cult. You're part of a death cult. Like, I'm not kidding. You're a part of a death cult. Like, really? Like, really? You're a part of a death cult that, like, loves death. But, you're sitting in your room, you're, like, playing your PlayStation. Like, where's the death at? I don't see any death. I just see, well, I guess I don't see life either. Looking around, there's no life in here either. I need a plant or something. But, yeah, how do you get out of a cult if you don't know you're in a cult? How do you get out of a cult when no one calls it a cult? When everyone calls it, I don't know, culture. Yeah, like it's crazy, and it's not it's not it's not anyone's fault. I mean, you can point to some people, but it's we just evolved our way here because certain systems became the dominant systems, and they became the dominant systems because whatever. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, again, psychological warfare. And I was talking about people being depressed and anxious and life being hard or whatever. And a part of this cult, is like, that's on you. You got to go get your habits good. You got to go, you got to study, you got to hustle. You got to exercise. You got to take pills. You got to get big. You got to do push-ups. You got to do, but you don't need to do any of that. Like, you need to like connect with people. You need to do things that are counter to what the cult wants you to do. And it's hard though, because like you try to connect with people and they think you're weird. They think you're weird because like you're not doing cult shit. Why are you talking to me about habits? Anyway, so the kind of the point with revolutionary habits is to meet people where they are inside of this like cult that we're in, and focus on the individual, focus on individual habits. Like that's easy. That's an easy entry point. Almost everybody, like wherever they're at in life, like they got some habit they want to work on. Like just everyone, I use my phone too much. Some habit, something they want to change. So it's a good entry point. But then, the tagline is build systems, share power. The idea is like, I'm building these, like I got my wife doing habits. I got some friends doing, and all this stuff. But then, making a habit community that wants to, eventually get big and have many pods, and then working on changing the systems of oppression and violence and hostility, because all those systems are basically habits, like they're again the psychological war. Your mind is the battlefield. That was a lot. Oh yeah, I talked about no bad parts. Like I had this kind of vision with like Casey being relaxed, or Casey Abbott Payne, that like, oh, I'll probably, as I work through all the Milltown Kids stuff, like that'll be relaxed, and this part over here, and they'll get relaxed and integrated, and then it goes from like no bad parts to no parts. And I had an experience with that this morning because I had a part that I was calling Revolutionary Panther or the Revolutionary or whatever. But then, like, I had the thought after the relaxing of Casey, I'm like, why am I making more parts? Like, I guess I did it as a container as I'm working through this and having my different sides of my brain talk to each other. But this morning, I don't know, the writer for something, I forgot. Anyway, like I just saw some video this morning. I haven't been on social media, but I started fucking with Facebook a little bit. And he got just some older white woman didn't like the way he was sitting. Dude, really, it sounds like something from like the 1960s. Like it looks so ridiculous. Some woman didn't like the way he was sitting. She was like, sit better, I guess. And he was like, no. And she told the conductor, and they stopped the train and had police come and pull this black dude off the train. And that like got shit started boiling. Then I sat down and meditated, and I like looked at where it was coming from. I thought about what can I do about that, like the obvious that, well, I can share it. I can, it's like that's not going to do anything. Like, relax, focus on your craft. So that, yeah, like it's like I'm the revolutionary. I don't need a revolutionary part. That's me. What else here? What else we got here? Oh yeah, that was an example of a part, like they talk about parts hijacking the system, and that's kind of what was happening with the energy and emotion rising. And I was like, I had to Tai Chi that shit. I had to flow that shit. The flowing arts, the flowist arts, the flowing self arts. I got a little note in here about people are doing their best to make sense out of the world. That was just kind of like my friend I snapped on. A part of me snapped on. I didn't do. Wasn't me. It wasn't me. But yeah, just kind of thinking, everybody. I really believe everybody's doing their best. I think I covered that in the Charlie Kirk video. People are doing the best they can with the cult programming they've received, and doing the best they can in the cult they're in. And that is what it is. Okay, I'll wrap it up with these last. I was gonna start with one of these. Maybe I saved the best for last. I went. I'm starting to go outside. I'm starting to actually be social. Like I've been. Like I have social skills. I can talk. I can tell stories. You see, I can talk. Like no one needs to be there. Just you there, maybe. Yeah, well, definitely. You heard me say it. I don't need it. Like I can talk, so like I can be social. But usually I'm just like, either I'm depressed or I'm at home reading books and like being serious. Like I'm such a serious guy. Like it doesn't come across like I hide my seriousness, but I'm fucking like so serious. All I want to do is serious shit all the time. That's not true, because there's a part of me that loves goofing off. But I'm so serious. I'm also very serious. So I started going outside. I'm thinking about community. I can go to events. I can meet people, and like I'm not networking, but I'm community building, which I'll learn what that actually looks like and is over time. But I went to a birthday party, and this is funny. I met this young black woman who told me about Fast and the Furious is their favorite franchise, and like they like Fast and Furious, like the Marvel universe, and they were telling me all this stuff. It got me hyped like to watch Fast and the Furious, but they were like, what other movie does the white main character die and it gets better? And like, what other movie has this multiracial cat? What other movie is the white guy always the bad guy? And I was like, you're making some valid statements, and then they're telling me the whole the kind of the story, which I never really followed. Like I think I've seen most of the movies. But that was really funny. The second part I'll say is, I was talking to my mom last night. My mom was an organizer. My dad was a Black Panther. They were communists. Real young, I remember going and seeing organizing shit. But like, dude, so I'm in Taiwan and I'm in the lab and I'm doing all this thinking and reading and philosophizing to myself, and building these frameworks for self-development, which becomes frameworks for communal development, which become frameworks for revolution. And I'm just like, a lot of it I'm in, I'm out there doing stuff sometimes, like I did some Black Lives Matter stuff, and I go to events and stuff. But like a lot, I'm just in the lab. I got my journals. I got my books. Now I got Anna's archive to get more books for free. But like, again, talking to my mom, like, Milwaukee sucks, dude. Milwaukee is a fucked up place for black people. There's all kinds of white people there having a great time. And, there's black people there having a great time, but it's rough, dude. It's rough. Milwaukee is rough. And if I was trying to do what I'm doing in Milwaukee, it just wouldn't work. Like, I would have to do one of two paths, like I'd have to really my bipolar would probably keep me unstable to the point where I can't keep any kind of job or anything, and I can't I'm never in a position to do all this thinking I want to do, or I'm trying to organize but I'm not stable and there's no consistency. Or let's say I like my meds get figured out and I'm doing my meds and then I'm stable, but then the effort you have to do, the amount of effort needed for stability, you got to have this job, you need a car, you need insurance, you got to pay for gas, your car breaks down, you need an apartment, you're this and all these things. It's like you don't have time. You don't have time to even sit and talk to the camera for 20 minutes, 21 minutes. And I just wouldn't be able to, especially dude, I'm hype about the shit that I've put together. I'm super hype. I know it's gonna grow. I know it's gonna do dope shit. I'm pumped, but it's only because I'm in Taiwan and I have I'm in the lab, and my lab is good, and I'm able to stay, balanced or whatever, and stable and consistent. And I would not be able to. I mean, even in Taiwan, I didn't have consistency because of the bipolar having me here, there, and everywhere, and wilding out. And I'm in the hospital, I'm out of the hospital, and I'm manic for 3 months. And even in Taiwan, Taiwan allowed me to get to the place where I'm at right now. I never would have got to this place in Milwaukee. Or I won't say never, but it would have been very challenging. And then I don't think I would have got to a place where I just have the time to think and plan and experiment and whatever. And now, well, I guess now I'm excited because I'm really going to be in the lab. I'm going to start doing meetups again, weekly meetups. I'm going to be out there talking to people. I'm going to be out refining my philosophy and, tools. I'm going to be refining my revolutionary thought and revolutionary ideas. I'm bringing it all together, and then hopefully I'll be able to share it. Places. But Taiwan's the lab. Anyway, so here, last bit, maybe the dopest bit. I'll put a link to the Wikipedia. But there's a quander that I ran into at one of the community events. I know him from other events from back in the day or whatever. His family is the oldest recorded, maybe there's some other ones, but one of the oldest recorded African American, truly African American. I mean, it's always African American, but some people are I'm black, I'm African American in that there's documentation going back to the member that was brought over from Africa to the U.S. and established himself and built family up until now. So, and they have family in Ghana. They have actual these are my family. Not me. I'm I did 23andMe and I'm from the West West Coast somewhere, I guess, maybe. But he has he knows who his family is, and he was talking about going to Ghana, and I'm dude, I will go to Ghana. Let's go to Ghana. Because I want to go to Africa, but I don't want to go or make up stories about what my tribe was or or my nation, whatever. I want to go, but I want it to be with someone, through someone. So he's like, cool. I'm no, dude, no, listen to me. I'm gonna go to Ghana with you. And he's give me 6 months. I'm like, 6 months? No, let's let's go in the summer of 2027. Like that'll be fast enough. 2026 is too fast. And then during the year, you're working, and he's like, oh yeah, let's do that. So yeah, I'm excited about that Ghana trip. I don't know if I'm forcing this story in. I'll throw it in, whatever. Like it's a good story. I shared it with him. I'll share it with you. It needs its own video. But Teju the storyteller, who's like he was also a Black Panther back in the day, and he made trips to Africa and became like he is a storyteller tradition. Like his family, he has a history of storytellers. He wears all white now and plays. Anyway, Teju's dope. I brought him here once, and like this is like he told me he's a storyteller. He told me many stories, but this story stuck. And then I can even I got the book right here. Bam! I'll use this. He told me this one story about walking with like one of the heads. I don't know if he was a shaman, maybe a shaman. I don't know, one of the heads of something, and they're going to see a hired like person, and they're supposed to be there at a certain time, and he's the guy he's walking with is like walking like, oh, that's why I'm like I can't do the walk. I can't show you the walk. Maybe I can. Hold on. Let's fuck it. We're getting now we're doing it. Is there enough room for the walk? Like can I get my face in here? Anyway, he's walking. He's walking. He's walking like real slow. But then like everybody knows him, so everybody is also walking up to him and talking, and he stops and he's like, oh yeah, blah blah, and then they stop, and he's walking like super slow. Teju's like yo man, we gotta go, man, like we're gonna be late, and he's like, oh don't worry, and so he's walking slow like that, talking to people, and then they get to the spot. And then Teju's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so embarrassed, I was trying to get here on time, and he said the guy was like, no, you arrived on God's time, just like they weren't late, they got there at the perfect time, whatever, and I like that like stuck in my head, I call it people in the U.S. will use. BPT or CPT, Black people time or colored people time, but that's used pejoratively. Is that how I say that word? It's used negatively, usually, like either negatively or as a joke normally, but usually it's negative. And I've been calling it like indigenous time. But that story mixed with in ritual, there's a story. I should have the page just folded because anyway he this guy Malidoma Patrice Somé. Malidoma Patrice Somé. Oh, there he is. There's a picture of him. Wait, can you see him? Malidoma Patrice Somé. He's passed away now, somewhat recently, I think. But he was like, crazy life where he was like fluent in Western stuff and fluent in tribal. I don't like the word tribe for some reason anymore, but like tribal stuff, or indigenous stuff. Maybe indigenous, tribal, I don't know. So he's fluent in both of these worlds, and he's like maybe makes a trip to the UK, comes back, he's talking to the elders, and the elders are like, he's like explaining to like how people go to work, and the elders are like, go to work? Why do they go? What, they don't like where they are? And he's like, no, they go to work and then they come back and they're like, what? Why did they leave? And then he's like, he's like explaining the concept of like time, like they have to leave at a certain time, get to work at a certain time, and come back. And he said they're like, time? What's time? What's time? And that's what I'm saying about like being in this fucking colonial capitalist death cult where like motherfucker I this is when people used to ask me what I do, I used to say defend my free time. Like I never like I used to say defend my free time because anyway, that's the update. That's the update. Fucking that's the update. I guess like now I'm like I'm not trying to make a long video, but I'm just kind of like I don't care. I'm just talking till I'm done talking. All right. Peace be unto you.